United States officially declared its independence from Great Britain in 1776. And just 14 years later, a report of the first UFO sighting in American history appeared in the newly published journals of John Winthrop, the second governor of the Massachusetts Bay Colony. His journals, which are now known as A History of New England, 1630 to 1649, are still considered the preeminent record for that period in American history. When the journals were finally published in 1790, over 140 years after Winthrop's death, they were found to contain an alarming account of a possible close encounter over Boston's Muddy River.
One night in March of 1639, James Everell, who was described as being a sober and discreet man, and two of his companions boarded a little boat in the Muddy River of Boston. As they paddled along the river, they saw a great bright light that hovered in the sky. As they watched, the light flared up and then contracted into what they described as the figure of a swine. It's difficult to imagine anybody seriously reporting a sighting of a glowing flying pig. Looking at the sighting, one can't help but wonder if they were struggling to describe an oval-shaped fuselage and four short, what we might now call landing struts or landing gear, in a way that made sense in the 17th century.
Winthrop's account states that the object moved swift as an arrow, jetting back and forth, as well as up and down, for 2 to 3 hours. And when it finally disappeared, the 3 passengers in the boat, who had been drifting downstream the entire time, were astonished to find themselves back at the point where they began their trip.
What Winthrop describes in his journal is really difficult to explain. Certainly, it seems hard to fathom that for 2 or 3 hours, 3 men in a boat watched a bright light moving around in the sky over the city of Boston. And it seems almost inconceivable that their boat could have been drawn back against the tide without them noticing it. These type of strange and inexplicable phenomena are now associated with the phenomena that's called alien abduction.
And as the abduction cases evolved, you heard people say, all of a sudden, everything around them was slowing way, way down. And they associate the slowing way, way down with whatever this event is that we call the human abduction syndrome.
Could this event at Muddy River be not only North America's first documented UFO sighting, but also the first account of an alien abduction? Those who believe the account in Winthrop's journals was an actual alien encounter point to the last line of his report, which states, "Other credible persons saw the same light."